The idea that humans may have been genetically engineered by extraterrestrial beings has gained traction in some fringe circles, despite a lack of concrete scientific evidence to support this claim. Proponents of this theory argue that the rapid advancement of human intelligence and technology, especially in recent centuries, suggests that our species may have been artificially enhanced by a more advanced civilization. They point to the fact that humans possess a number of unique traits, such as our highly developed brains and our ability to use complex language and tools, which set us apart from other animals on Earth. Some even go as far as to suggest that these traits could not have evolved naturally and must have been deliberately designed by an intelligent creator. Supporters of this theory also cite ancient religious texts and mythologies that describe gods or divine beings descending from the heavens to interact with and influence early human civilizations. They interpret these stories as possible evidence of extraterrestrial intervention in human history, with advanced aliens being mistaken for deities by our primitive ancestors. Additionally, some believers in the alien engineering hypothesis point to the apparent missing link in the fossil record of human evolution, arguing that the absence of clear transitional forms between early hominids and modern humans could be explained by a sudden, artificial leap forward in our development. While the idea of alien genetic engineering may seem far-fetched to many, its proponents maintain that it is a plausible explanation for the rapid advancement and unique characteristics of our species. They argue that just as humans are now beginning to explore the possibilities of genetic modification and artificial intelligence, a sufficiently advanced extraterrestrial civilization could have already mastered these technologies and applied them to the development of life on other planets, including Earth. The scientific community largely dismisses the notion of alien genetic engineering, as it lacks any credible evidence and relies heavily on speculative interpretation of mythology and gaps in the fossil record. Mainstream scientists maintain that the evolution of human intelligence and technology can be adequately explained through the principles of natural selection and the cumulative effect of cultural transmission over thousands of generations. It remains firmly in the realm of science fiction and fringe theory, as no concrete proof has emerged to support this extraordinary claim. In a world where collective belief has the power to shape reality, the line between fact and fiction becomes increasingly blurred, as the proliferation of conspiracy theories threatens to fundamentally alter the fabric of our existence. The concept of subjective reality, where the fervent belief of a significant number of people can retroactively change history and manifest previously imagined entities, presents a terrifying scenario in which the human imagination becomes a double-edged sword, capable of both creation and destruction on an unprecedented scale. This idea raises profound questions about the nature of truth and the role of belief in shaping our understanding of the world around us, challenging the notion that reality is a fixed, objective constant. If enough people were to believe in the existence of extraterrestrial life, for example, it is conceivable that aliens could suddenly become a tangible presence on Earth, their existence woven into the tapestry of our history as if they had always been there. Similarly, if a significant portion of the population were to subscribe to the idea that a shadowy cabal of elites controls the world from behind the scenes, this belief could manifest as a reality, with the alleged conspirators gaining actual power and influence. In such a world, the role of organizations like the fictional Department of Truth would become crucial, as they work to prevent the most dangerous and destructive conspiracy theories from taking root in the public consciousness. However, the morality of such an organization is inherently questionable, as it essentially seeks to control and manipulate reality by determining which beliefs are allowed to flourish and which must be suppressed. This raises the specter of a world in which the very nature of truth is subject to the whims of those in power, with the potential for abuse and the erosion of individual autonomy. Moreover, the idea that belief can shape reality has intriguing implications for the power of the human mind, and the potential for individuals to manifest their deepest desires and fears. If a person's belief in their own abilities were strong enough, for example, it is possible that they could develop superhuman powers or even alter the course of their own life in ways that defy conventional understanding. Ultimately, the concept of subjective reality presents a fascinating and terrifying glimpse into a world where the boundaries between the real and the imagined are constantly shifting, and where the power of belief reigns supreme. This is an idea that all religions are essentially worshiping the same God, just through different lenses and cultural contexts. Proponents of this view argue that the common themes and moral teachings found across various faith traditions suggest a shared divine source, with each religion offering its own unique path to understanding and connecting with this higher power. They point to the prevalence of certain ethical principles, such as the Golden Rule, which appears in some form in nearly every major religion, as evidence of a universal truth that transcends individual belief systems. Additionally, the concept of a fallen or imperfect state of humanity, along with the promise of salvation or enlightenment, is a recurring motif in many religions, hinting at a shared understanding of the human condition and the need for spiritual growth. Some advocates of this perspective, such as the Baha'i Faith, go so far as to claim that the founders of the world's major religions, including Moses, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad, were all divinely inspired messengers sent by the same God to guide humanity in different times and places. This idea suggests that the apparent differences between religions are merely the result of cultural and historical contexts, rather than fundamental disagreements about the nature of the divine. However, critics of this viewpoint argue that it oversimplifies the rich diversity of religious beliefs and practices, ignoring the significant theological and philosophical differences that exist between traditions. They contend that the concept of a singular, universal God is itself a product of a monotheistic worldview, and may not accurately represent the beliefs of polytheistic or non-theistic religions. Moreover, the exclusive truth claims made by many religions, which assert that their path is the only valid way to salvation or enlightenment, seem to contradict the notion that all faiths are ultimately pointing toward the same goal. Despite these challenges, the idea that all religions share a common core continues to resonate with many spiritual seekers and interfaith advocates, who see it as a means of promoting understanding and harmony among diverse belief systems. They argue that by focusing on the similarities rather than the differences between religions, we can foster a greater sense of unity and compassion in an increasingly interconnected world. The notion that the Amazon rainforest was largely shaped by human intervention over thousands of years has gained significant traction in recent years, challenging the long-held belief that the region represents a pristine, untouched wilderness. Proponents of this theory point to several lines of evidence that suggest ancient Amazonian tribes actively managed and cultivated the forest, creating a landscape that suited their agricultural and resource needs. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the presence of terra preta, a type of soil that is exceptionally fertile and can only be created through human activity, such as the incorporation of pottery shards and other organic matter. This man-made soil, which covers an area roughly the size of France within the Amazon basin, indicates that indigenous populations were actively enriching the soil to support their agriculture and way of life. The relative flatness of the Amazon rainforest, in contrast to the varied topography found in other forested regions around the world, has also been cited as potential evidence of human intervention. Some researchers suggest that this unique landscape could be the result of ancient Amazonians selectively cultivating and managing certain tree species, effectively creating a vast, garden-like environment that supported their communities. This theory is further supported by the observation that areas surrounding known archaeological sites in the Amazon tend to exhibit greater biodiversity and a higher concentration of useful plant species compared to more remote regions of the forest. This pattern suggests that the legacy of these ancient garden cities persists to this day, with the descendants of cultivated trees and plants continuing to thrive in the vicinity of former human settlements. While the extent to which the Amazon rainforest was shaped by human activity remains a topic of ongoing research and debate, The evidence supporting this theory has grown increasingly compelling in recent years. If true, it would mean that the Amazon is not merely a wild, untamed jungle, but rather a complex, culturally modified landscape that has been profoundly influenced by the indigenous populations who called it home for thousands of years.